and welcome to Still Uncaptured with me, Kgomotso Matsunyane.
And myself, Ndumiso Ngcobo,
Don't forget to join us on Spotify every Tuesday at 9 o'clock and on YouTube also at the same time. And you can reach me on my socials. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter and TikTok at Motso Matsu.
And I'm an old man on Facebook, Ndumiso Ngcobo. And of course, I am on Twitter at Ndumiso Ngcobo and also on TikTok at Ndumiso Ngcobo.
Yes, and today we have a co-host who's going to be joining us, a veteran journalist, shall we say?
A presenter on Air Personality Television. This is a bit of a... This is in many ways a reunion.
Yes.
Twice, in the sense that we all at some point were at Kai FM.
Yes.
And him and I used to have like a very popular segment on 3 Talk, eh?
Yeah, the Rascals.
The Rascals on 3 Talk.
Right, with Nolene.
With Nolene Maulana
and the late Juby. God rest his soul.
And you Zipius and Sevenzile.
Sakina, yes.
Sakina Kambuendo. What do we have on the menu today?
Well, we're going to talk about gratitude.
Yeah.
And as usual, and we're going to talk about South African men losing their damn minds for no reason whatsoever. There was just a judgment. First of all, I don't know why this had to be a Concord decision because it seems so ludicrous. A judgment that basically said, if you're a South African man and you marry a South African woman, you are allowed to take her name if that is your wish.
If you marry any woman, for as long as you are South African, whoever you marry, you can...
Right.
You know, I mean, what would be the point of marrying a Rockefeller if I wouldn't call myself a Rockefeller? Seriously?
No, but also, it's so funny. It's kind of like weed in the sense that in South Africa, the laws are announced, but people have been practicing it for years.
Yeah.
For example, a lot of men who married into the Mandela family like to use that name.
Yeah.
I was not going to say anything.
I said it.
I was not going to say anything because there's a particular gentleman that I know who did that. And a lot of us, I must admit, because there might be some people who know about this and who know me and they think I'm a hypocrite if I go the other way. So a lot of us were like, why would you do that? Would you do that? So it was a big thing amongst us as boys, you know, you wouldn't do that. And my other friend, Vusi, said, hey, listen, I'd do it for the money. That big surname would say, and you
opens doors.
Yeah. So very interesting.
But also on the menu, we're going to talk a little bit about the Netflix
documentary. It's
Beauty
nothing
and the Bester.
Majorly new, but Beauty and the Bester.
And then we're also going to have a little talk about Christmas.
Yeah.
About Christmas. I mean, it's timely.
Because I'm waiting. I mean, we shoot in the mall. I'm waiting any minute.
Already.
Jingle bells. Yes. I'm ready for the Christmas holidays.
Decorations and everything.
Decorations and everything.
Let's start where we always start.
Yes.
Gratitude.
So,
what are you grateful for today?
my niece has 2 grand nephews. Yeah, my niece Lisa, she's got 2 little kids. Like one is about 10, and the other one is about 6 months old.
Yeah.
And she sent us pictures this weekend, and I was just feeling like, you know, I love these little people that have come from nowhere.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to be child-free. Yeah. I'm 53 years old. Yeah. Best decision I ever made.
Lucky you.
I know.
You know, sort of almost 20 years ago, I used to look at her, when we used to be at Kaya.
Yeah.
And I said, she's just saying this. I really used to be like, deep down inside. But having known you, I know for a fact you don't regret not having children.
I don't. And it was not like I grew up thinking like I'm not going to have kids. I was a bit ambivalent.
Yeah.
And at some point I thought, I really want to have. But either time or chance or circumstance or the person wasn't right. But now in retrospect, it was completely the right decision.
I agree with that because people will turn us into monsters if we say this. Yeah. It does bring about a level of inconvenience, and I know I'll be cancelled. But also, I was talking to a very interesting friend of mine, and I said to him, have you noticed that individuals right now, even in the media space, who are doing extremely well, who are prominent, they do not have the burdens of family and children. And I made some few examples. I wouldn't do that now.
Sure.
And I pointed to those people and I said, would you be doing that well if you did not have this commitment? And I concluded that because you get home and there are kids and you have to make time for them. It's not their fault that they're here, and you want also to ease your conscience. Meaningful and ease your conscience. You do not have the luxury of someone, of a Kgomotso Matsunyane who'd walk in and perhaps do as she pleases and wake up at 2 and do whatever else.
Right.
You don't have that. So that takes away a lot that could have been achieved in your career as well.
Yeah.
And good or bad.
Particularly if the person's your gender. So your gratitude is?
So my gratitude is for those little people that have come into my life. Voluntarily, involuntarily. I adore them. They really, I get it. When you guys say that your children are like your heart beating outside of your body. I get it. Whatever we say about kids, is that obviously you love your children. You would have made very different decisions about your life, about your career, about being in any kind of different space had they not been there. But the fact that these people are in my life are a blessing. And because also I know that at the end of the day, they're going home to their mama.
The best part of the blessing.
It's so interesting. We're sitting here today. In 2 days, my last born, the very last one, is going to be finishing high school in a couple of weeks, really.
Right.
But in 2 days, he's going to his matric dance. And today he was like, "Oh, do you want to take me to go?" Because he's into cornrows now. He's like, "Oh, can you?" I'm like, "Nah, Uber, nigga, Uber." You know, like, I love you, but you know how it is. Even when I am away from home, my 13:45 alarm, I never switch it off because it's always a reminder that I'm actually supposed to be picking her up from school. Like, and so there's a little bit of me that's going, my last baby.
So your last born is leaving your nest.
With the nest.
That's beautiful. I suppose it's a rite of passage in matric dance.
It is.
Like of us going to the mountains.
Is that another topic? I'm just asking.
Gratitude.
Exactly. I was going to say, we're going to be here all night long.
So what am I grateful for? You know, and this might surprise you a little bit. I think, you know, one of the things about the world being such a global village now, you know, wherever you know, I can just pick up my phone and I know what's happening in Yemen. Yeah. That makes me realize I know that things are bad here, that things here could be and should be much better than But I am so glad that I'm South African.
I know.
I am so glad that I'm not in Yemen. I'm glad I'm not in Gaza. I'm glad I'm not in Western Sahara. I'm glad I'm
You're
not
glad
in
you're not gay and just found out Traore is homophobic.
Exactly. I'm.
You know what I mean? I'm like really Traore.
After all of that. After all of that.
Like, how do homosexuals threaten you? Anyway.
So, you know, like, and I think I certainly wouldn't want to be in the United States of America.
Right.
You know, there was a time where I used to think, you know, watching the Cosby Show as a child, how would I go and live in America? I am so glad I am not in America right now, where a whole lot of shit is going on. So liberating being able to say shit. But anyway.
Doesn't take much to please you.
But I really, with all the problems that we have here in South Africa, we're still here, we're still fighting, we're still trying to hold people accountable, we're still part of the chattering classes, and we're still making a noise. It doesn't really matter how effective we are.
And our opinions don't get us into trouble.
Our opinions don't get us into trouble. I really am grateful that I'm South African right now.
What are you grateful for, Thabo?
You know, I was thinking about it on my way here, that what am I going to say? But for me, again, I'm always tethering near controversy at all times. I'm grateful for the fact that I am still in touch with the realities of millions of South Africans. We have a bread project. I'm literally from there now. I had to change quickly in a car, and the security guard was looking at me in a funny way.
Right.
Yeah. And we have a bread project every Wednesdays and Thursdays, and you must see the queues. About 400 people. Sometimes we 10 people away without getting a loaf of bread. And you'd think that it's these old people, whatever else, young age people our age, and you see some of them don't want to be there, but you know they don't.
Because poverty is embarrassing.
Exactly. And you could see that they are just, and they're looking good. They want to be here having coffee with their laptops, but they can't. And they need to queue there.
And, bread project.
For the bread project.
And where is this being?
It's in Dobsonville.
Okay.
So it's Wednesdays and Thursdays. So I'm from there now.
And you give what, a loaf of bread?
Everyone a loaf of bread. Anyone who comes through at that particular time. And sometimes we must 10 people away. And I'm grateful, one, that of course we could do that. But number two, it's the level of consciousness that I'm grateful for, that when I say our people, I'm not referring to a peripheral concept or something that I read about in
the
some...
masses.
The masses.
The poorest of the poor.
The poorest of the poor. No. And I feel so connected at all times, not because of the bread project, because I spend a lot of my time in the townships anyway. I've got friends, I've got family and whatever else. I'm happy that I'm not removed. I'm happy that Sandton life, suburban life, whatever life has not made me forget the essence. And I'm not glorifying it. We're not supposed to be in the townships to start off with. I'm not giving that, but I'm saying genuinely that I know I'm not I know the pain that they feel every single day. And I feel connected to a whole, that this is where I come from. This is the real me. And nothing can make me feel that I'm better than any of them, because by actions, deeds, words, thoughts, and everything else, I'm them and they're me.
And you also understand, like I often do when I go home, because, I spend a lot of time at home, the value of 1,000 years.
Yeah.
And very often I look at people and I think to myself, what a stroke of luck. Like the luck that I've had in my life. This could be me. Yesterday I was doing my walk. I saw this woman. People always like to talk about women begging and they have children and they judge them.
Yeah.
This person, you could see that it was so embarrassing for her.
Yeah.
She wasn't begging. She was just walking in the suburb along my way, and she was trying to pretend to me that she's not looking in the bins with this child on her back. And I just thought, oh man.
For me, it was
lucky.
on Monday taking out the garbage.
Yeah.
And the recycling people.
Yeah.
The government is literally using homeless people for recycling projects. It's disgusting, actually, what's going on. But that's for another topic for another day. And she had a baby. And I'm like, hey, what's happening with the baby today? Because the baby's walking around and she's on the street to understand. So ever so often she has to pull the child. And I'm like, what happened? She's like, hey, the woman who usually stays with the baby has gone home and she hasn't come back. So she's forced to check the baby. And I'm telling you, this woman doesn't make a lot of money, right? And for her, I'm thinking the daycare that she has to pay another woman who's also impoverished. And it's this... And I just said, okay, just wait here. And I took out a note and I gave it to her, because I'm just like, whatever it does. So I know that feeling. There's never a time where I go past, and I've said this before in the podcast, where I go past a homeless person and not feel it inside. Like, this is my brother. This is my sister.
Exactly.
This is my mother.
This is me.
This is me.
Exactly. And we can't divorce ourselves from that.
No,
There's
and
no separation.
And that's the problem, because our leadership has definitely done that. They feel another topic also from another day. Okay, we can talk about so many things. So many things. Okay, surnames. First of all, you are Thabo Shole-Mashao.
Yeah.
And there seems to be a rumor or a misconception, belief, like you took on a wife's name or something like that.
And that's only because your wife is also Shole-Mashao, right?
Yes.
And so you explain it, because I also was under that belief until a couple of days ago.
I was this days old.
I allowed you to go on even on Facebook. I'm like, let him.
If that's
If
what
I'm going to be a poster boy, that's new. Let it be. Yeah. No, it's actually not. Like millions of South Africans I was raised by a single mom, Mom Sani Rebecca Shole, let me mention her name. She raised me, and for the longest of times, I was the only child. And it was obviously out of wedlock. And years later, my grandfather approached us because my dad had died. And he said, approached my mom's family and my mom and said, I feel that we have not done right by you. And there's no way that I will enter the grave and be welcomed by my ancestors not having fixed what my son ought to have done. Right. And with that, I would like, and with great humility, by the way, and he was such a great man, big leader, and principal of the school and everything else. But with great humility, I'd never seen him like that. And he says, with great humility, I would like to do things right. This is our son, and he must be a Mashao. He must be. However, having aired, I am willing to say, go think about it. Please, he can also keep the Shole family, because the Shole surname, because generally that's who he is.
Yes,
that's who he is.
Right.
And I'm happy to. And obviously there were some deliberations. I was consulted and whatever else, and we all agreed.
How old were you?
I was about 17, 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you could make your own decisions.
Yes, fairly. And that's what happened. And we agreed, and he was so pleased, and it, I suppose, healed some spiritual wounds and everything else. Literally, he would take me, I don't know how many trips we made to the Home Affairs office. I think he was about 70, and we were still driving, and said, no. And there was a point I remember we had to pay about 40 rands or something like that. He goes, no, it's my mess. I must sort it out. No, I was like, no, I've got 50. He goes, no, keep your money. I have to do it. He wanted to do it himself. So it was not just for anything else, but I think, so that's why. That's how I'm Shole-Mashao. And
got it.
I asked, a number of people have asked me, and how did that come about? And not fortunately or otherwise, it's mainly men who come to me and say, listen, I have the same problem. I was raised by my mom, and now what do I do? Did you do a ritual at Home Affairs? What was the process? How long did it take? And everything else. But they ask very quietly, including, I was telling Ndumiso that another very flamboyant advocate friend of mine who was literally crying tears when we were sitting at some pub together talking with other friends, and he was explaining the phenomenon of surnames with men, especially black men. And he says that he was whoever, I'll call him James now, James whoever, and then his mom divorced the gentleman, and then he had to leave that surname and get another surname, and so on. When he was in varsity, his mom called him and said, oh wow, by the way, I also left that other loser, so I was just saying, do as you please with that surname, you're an adult now. And he says, that's when I decided that I'm going to call myself James. Because now I truly don't know who I am.
Right.
And he was literally crying tears. And so it's a very painful and sensitive issue to a number, and we don't speak about it often. And that's why I'm thrilled that we gave this an opportunity under circumstances.
Yes, but it's like, it's really weird because we as Black Africans have made surnames to be such a major part of who we are. Kumbule Kaya is littered with the bodies of people who say, I want to find my father so that he can do the right rituals for me. I want to find my father so that I can be complete. That we have been brought up to believe, and it has been made a part of our culture, that unless you have the correct surname, and being the correct surname being your father's surname, right? Your blood father's surname, then you're almost like a stepchild of sorts, like a red-headed stepchild of sorts.
You're incomplete.
You're not complete, and it's a problem.
It is.
Because even on this show, we had another conversation with Siabonga Khatebe about the ridiculousness of South African surnames. And but I worry, why, Mapuraba, do you think we have such a ridiculous veneration for these surnames, which actually, in the larger scheme of things, actually don't matter?
You know, what's interesting about what you're talking about, and I'm not going to speak carefully. I'm just going to speak. Right? For starters, how does it affect me that the Concord has ruled that whoever wants to take their wife's surname can do that? But I'm trying to see how it affects
It doesn't.
me.
Yeah.
It
How
really doesn't.
does you calling yourself Shole-Mashao affect me? Did the Concord say from now on men must now take their wives' surname?
The reaction was almost like you were putting it like that.
Yes.
What is everyone so up in arms about?
Yeah.
Right? Are people even aware, to be honest, is that, and this is one of those things, Mark Twain once said something very interesting. He said, the man who can read but does not read has got absolutely no advantage over the man who can't read.
Right.
And the reason I'm saying this is if people just picked up books and read and realized that we didn't even have surnames until there was a Native Act in 1927 that said, you shall have a surname.
A surname.
In KwaZulu-Natal, it was started very insidiously because there was failing system in England.
I was going to say the church.
Even the English themselves did not have surnames until the 17th century. I do not know if people are aware of this, right? So surnames are really very much a phenomenon that was created by capitalism.
Yeah.
It was the
Census.
industry.
Yeah.
It was the beginning of the census.
It was the beginning of the census, and it is really just a matter of just being able to make sense.
Yeah, social
of people,
construct. Yeah.
Which is why if you go to KZN, I don't care who you are. We can sit all here and I say, write 20 Zulu surnames, and I say 20.
Yeah.
All of us at some point will go Ndlovu, Khumalo.
Yeah.
That's not an accident. It's because those people, there was some benefit people were deriving from saying Khumete. If you actually look at people and say, genetically, are you Khumete? Hardly anyone is related to people of Khumete or Abantu who are Ndlovu. They are not related to Kachini in any way. It is just a name that was convenient at the time.
Definitely.
What are people up in arms about? How can that...
Patriarchy. I think they're scared that the patriarchy is going to be dissolved.
It is.
But even your mother's surname is still patriarchal.
Even exactly. Thinking about it. But also, you'd remember... during the very tough times, the 50s, the 60s, and subsequently, the apartheid regime used to raid homes, especially in Soweto, Alexander, and wherever else. So if I had come to the Ngcobo home as a Shole-Mashao, maybe you had a liking of me and I lodged at your place. And if those cops, the Metro cops then, they came and then they said, okay, roll call, Ngcobo family, Kgomotso, and who? And you, Baba, who are you? I was going to take up your surname. I was going to be Thabo Ngcobo.
Right.
And I was going to be known as Ngcobo. So much that I accepted I'm a Ngcobo.
Right.
And you would ask me, without a gun on my head, post-1994, I'd say, I'm Thabo Ngcobo.
Right.
That is how insignificant it is and how it's not related to our original indigenous identity that we are so contesting so much and wanting to hold on to. And it could be also infidelity. I may not even be a Shole-Mashao for all. Who cares? I mean, that's another issue that we forget, that actually many of us, of course there are many who do, but many of us cannot truly, genuinely trace back the names to the origination, whatever the time was, simply because of the passage of time and everything else. So this is not really us. Our surnames are not us.
Yeah. They truly aren't. I think that your identity is really very much your ID number. That is more your identity, your ID number than your. Because a surname. Also remember, with all everything that happened, with what people call, I'll call it narrow nationalism, but people call it tribalism and so on. If you went to KZN, and then you say to people, and people say, "What's your name?" You're like, Malika. Oh, Malinga. There are so many people who are Malinga only because it was for survival.
Yeah.
But if you And as you and I sit here, and Kgomotso and I have been talking about this, I don't know for how long, because we want to do it.
Yeah.
If we actually went to go and do our DNA,
The ancestral DNA.
Yes.
and whatever, you might find that you are more related to whoever it is, that ancestor that was, let me leave Undlovu for now, that is Umthembu.
Yeah.
Or Umvelase, the human being who lived was Umvelase. You may be more genetically related to Umvelase than 90% of people who call themselves Umthembu.
In which case, then
so
what must we
random.
do with that surname,
Yeah.
right?
What does that mean? So for me, like surnames, I just, when I got married, I remember saying to my wife, Tebogo, I'm like, you've got a professional name, you've made your name. You don't have to take my surname.
Yes.
I don't care. Whatever you do, if we want our children to have double barrel surnames, I absolutely don't care. She on her own, she said, just because it's easy, I'll just take on the surname. So I don't have to keep on explaining
exactly
why your children are.
because if we sign forms or buying because our first house, by the way, that we bought, has got Ndumiso Ngcobo and Kgomotso Matsunyane, because we bought it before we actually got married.
Right.
So she said, this is going to cause us problems. And so she took my surname. But I ask men, seriously, what are you up in arms about?
Yeah.
It's like, what are people up in arms about?
I think Kgomotso has got it. It's the collapse of patriarchy, and they want to hold on to something that brings what would be an artificial masculinity to them, and they are holding on for dear life, because remember, in search of our true identity, a surname is the closest thing that you could get, because then, because of the need to associate, I can associate with Abu Mahlangu. Then Masbonan, hey Mahlangu, hey Mahlangu, yeah, and clan names and whatever else that comes with it. So they need to belong so much. But this particular court outcomes, it speaks to where we are, because if it does anything, it's only becoming consistent with the Constitution, that everyone is equal before the law.
Right.
That's all that it's doing. And it's been there, like you said. There was no need for an announcement. It's been there. And that's just how it should be. You want to take Matsunyane?
Your decision. Do you? Absolutely.
Okay, here's a question. Can Home Affairs stop me if I decide tomorrow that I want to change my name and I want to be called Barack Obama? Can they stop me?
No, you have that right.
I have the right to call myself whatever it is.
There's a Malcolm X, hey?
There's already Malcolm X. Remember, we were just saying, like, men were up in arms, but so were women.
Yes.
That for me was the shocker. I'm like, to patriarchal princess much? There were the number of women who were denigrating, or like, as if we're like, literally.
Only you.
And I love both of you.
Only you.
And you two were the only men on social media not mocking it, not who didn't care what people called you, or like whether I believe in this or not. It was just kind of like, it's what it is. Why are we even having this argument?
Why? It's such a non-starter for me. But you see, with women, this is also the extent of patriarchy, is that there is still with us in 2025. You would think, we are much better. We've gone on, we're much better. But that whole thing of, saying, every selfie I take, I must take my selfie like this because I am married to one woman. What does it mean?
Because it was supposed to be this prestigious thing. I mean, you talk about your birth, right? And that it was out of wedlock. So things that were, and which is a Christian thing, by the way. This out of wedlock thing. One man, one woman is very much a Christian principle. Do you understand? So it kind of confused things. I want to segue us somewhere different. Someone who's got a surname which is a little unfortunate right now because it's getting a lot of flack. Because Nandipa Magudumana should actually be Nandipa Sikeleni.
Exactly.
Right? Like actually. Right? How do one meet? And I say that because I watched the documentary on Netflix, Beauty and the Bester. I don't see why Nandipa tried to stop it. Because it was actually quite sympathetic to her. There were moments where I felt like, ooh, okay, I kind of get Nandipa because there's so much I want to discuss about this. First of all, what did you think of it? Second of all, what do you make about now finding out that she actually did receive some money from
Yeah.
Netflix. So why was she finding it sort of like in public?
Yeah.
There was another documentary on Showmax
Yes.
about Nandipa and this whole
Oh, yes.
Yes, there
sort of like
was,
Thabo
yeah.
Bester thing.
Yes.
So people are kind of comparing the two.
Yeah.
Sure, the Netflix one, nothing new
Yeah.
per se, but I hadn't, for example, hearing Nandipa's mother and father speak was incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
You know, like they look as bamboozled as the rest of us. Hey, batong, little naremakets, can you imagine one of our doctor? I said to the so, and her brother, I thought. Was incredibly cogent in his arguments as
Yes,
well in
yes.
trying to understand what is this. But what
Yeah.
did you guys make of it?
Well, I thought the brother was somehow of an outcast in the family, you know, one of those who are not really accepted that much. And I was thinking, look at your favorite now. But also, what it does, I mean, they always say that reality is stranger than fiction. So I'm marveled at to what extent can one person go and is willing to go for love. For love, for the need to belong.
She was willing to. That was the hill she was willing to die on.
Yeah, definitely. And but also, I am wary of how we have somehow all gathered at the altar of people's demise, and we are, genuflecting at the sorrows and whatever else. I think, I mean. Particularly the Netflix one, the parents, something else for me, especially the dad, simply because he was there on the dock with them, with Nandipa and the co-accused. But I'm just thinking, the father's love. Father's love. I'm trying to remove the ordinary legalese for me, because oftentimes we hide behind it. That is okay. We must all do the right thing, I agree. But I thought to myself, would I have done the same for my
Good
daughter?
question.
Would I? And the easiest response to the two of you on this podcast is no, it's wrong. I wouldn't have. She must take responsibility for. Baba, when the lights are off, your daughter is there, your princess, your gorgeous little thing. She's going down. You're like, man, come hello, high water. I'll go with it. But we're not that honest. We are a hypocritical society. And not all of us, of course. But I'm just saying that father's love, and in turn, Nandipa's love to Thabo as well.
You know, I'll start there where you ended, where you're talking about the father. When it comes, because it's leading to my point, when it comes to victims of this entire situation, I absolutely have got so much empathy and so much sympathy for the father, for the mother, for the brother, for her family. But where I also feel that we are also being hypocritical is when we start asking, I find even the question odd, where people go, was Nandipa a victim of Thabo Bester? Or was Nandipa very much a part of what was happening? In other words, what we are doing is we are seriously questioning her agency. This is a woman with an MBCHB, right? Here is my question, Kgomotso, because we've all had that. I'm asking this to you as well. I come to you knowing me and knowing my alleged IQ. I think I'm pretty smart, right?
Allegedly.
Allegedly, I'm smart. I come to you and I tell you now this story. I'm like, I got so hoodwinked by this person who was in jail, and I did all this. Now this is me, right? No, you acknowledge my agency.
Yeah.
Where is Nandipa's agency that we ask now? Asking the question, is this because I worry about the whole victimization of Nandipa in this? Because when you think about all the lengths. This man was in prison. How much power can have?
Is it that binary? Is it that binary that she has agency, she was a victim?
Yeah.
Is it not some kind of combination?
Not
understanding. First of all, the first thing I gotta say is love will make you do some stupid shit.
100%.
Listen, I've done some I've done some dumb things for love.
Share one or two in the meantime.
You start. I would never admit it.
I've slept on a bench in Durban for love.
Oh, really? Oh my God!
I didn't
I've given men money for love.
My
Oh my
goodness.
God!
Here we are blaming Nandipa.
But certainly it wasn't abuse. So is
Yeah,
it
sure,
that
sure, sure.
binary that is one or the other? Is it for me? It was like, oh, this is a little bit complicated. The moment that she first sees Thabo in court,
Yeah.
when they're wearing the light colored,
Yes.
that smile, the grasp of the hands, that connection.
Yeah.
Wa ba bona gore batho ba ba in love.
Yes.
These people are in love.
Here is my question. Before Thabo, was Nandipa involved in any shenanigans that had nothing to do with Thabo?
We
It
wouldn't
is
know.
possible.
Yeah, it's very much possible.
But I think it's possible.
Yeah.
Has anyone then said to, maybe it was Unandipa who was busy corrupting?
Right.
Why can't we even
Entertain
fathom?
it.
Why can't we fathom?
Because we heard the phone calls.
Yeah, but that was, you see, the difference with those phone calls is that this was now someone who was threatening someone with violence. And there's a very big difference between who is in control of a situation versus someone who says, right now I know what you're wearing because I've got people outside your house.
Somebody's watching you.
Someone's watching you.
Right.
Because that was the extent of those phone calls. All I am cautioning, and I just want to put it out there so that we talk about it, is that I want us to be very careful about not giving Unandipa an agency in all of this situation. I'm very careful.
Sure. I think, she did definitely have agency, and a lot of it could have been driven by greed, as at times greed drives a lot of us.
But Unabon, what did Thabo have
The potential.
to offer her?
No, but potential. You see, there's nothing worse than that, because I don't know which example to use about the wealthiest person as opposed to me.
Right.
And we're going for the same girl.
Right.
And chances are they would see potential in me than in that person, because that potential has already been realized. Motsepe's potential is realized. It's there.
A billion times over.
It's Thabo. Why is he might, So I think potential.
I get it, because sometimes I look at them and go, why did this woman what did she think was going to happen?
For the record, his wife.
I hear you.
Yeah. I think a potential can make you do crazy things, because you imagine the unimaginable. And earlier on, we were talking about the theater of the mind, and that's where the mind takes you to this land that you're gonna do this together, your partner in crime, and whatever else. But also, more importantly, for me, it only confirms what we all know. We are not either good or bad.
Right.
Of course.
It's easy. It's easier to say Jacob Zuma this.
Right.
We make ourselves feel better.
Yes.
You know this person on the public platform. You can criticize because I'm making myself feel better.
Yeah.
Given an opportunity, a lot of us are capable of horrid stuff. And we're talking about being fortunate, not being in some circumstances earlier.
Right.
We should also apply the same element of humility here. And say, I'm glad I've never been in a situation where I had to do that.
Where I had to go and claim bodies and bury them and
But you see, but you wanna, yes. But your current circumstances make Angege okay now.
Right.
No, because you're here now.
Right.
You hear, that's why I would say that, but until you are there, faced with that reality, where there is no influence of law or anything else, and it's you and survival. Or perceived survival, I should say.
And remember, he had convinced her somehow
Yes.
that he wasn't responsible for that other murder. He had concocted some cockamamie story about what I wasn't even there. And then during the interrogation. And you've seen the documentaries about coerced.
Oh, so he's innocent. Okay, so let's defraud people.
Here's the thing. Here's what I can't understand. They had literally gotten away with him escaping jail.
Jail.
Is that
They'd gotten away with it. He could have lived the rest of his life.
Yes, exactly.
Mara, he had to go to where? I go Woolies. Because Woolies in jail is just too tempting when you've been in jail.
having meetings in the middle of the day in malls, trying to lure actresses to go to Cape Town.
Right.
And you've escaped jail.
And the events.
And Nandipa knows all of this.
Guys, those events. A lot of people attended those events that we know.
And then Piltusi.
Yeah. Why is it so quiet all of a sudden? Here's the mic.
Well, let me grab some water.
That was some of the most bizarre things that I saw in this documentary. I thought, Pearl, what the fuck?
And
how did you end up with this guy taking out his knife in front of you, and then instead of taking him to the police station, you're taking him to church? Oh my God, this story. And you earlier said, you alluded to the fact that somebody's life, somebody's heartache, somebody's deaths are literally entertainment right now. I can't help it. Honestly, I am entertained. I'm tickled. Our own Bonnie and Clyde.
But same here, myself included. But it's quite amazing how, again, we remove ourselves from certain things and we watch it as if we're watching a movie or something of the sort on TV or elsewhere. And we impose upon ourselves an element of sainthood. And
guilty.
And then we wear these glasses where we are on the right side of things, and I say right side of things because, and I Eusebius used to talk about this a lot with myself every now and then. That listen, the fact that something is law does not necessarily make it right.
Exactly.
True.
Apartheid was legal.
Case in point.
Yes.
I mean, cheating is wrong, but it's not illegal.
Right.
So those are the things I think that we need to have in our minds whenever we are faced with those moral questions. That what is stopping you? You said, Anyek, is it your morality or is it the law or the fear of?
No, let me tell you what I also think. I think that one of the things that we are not talking about is the psychological aspect of it, the psychosis of it, the fact that we are also dealing with people who are very not normal.
Right.
I mean, my God, the level of psychosis, the God complex, the belief, honestly speaking, the belief that you walk on water and then you kept being proved right.
Right.
I mean, good Lord, breaking someone out of prison in that fashion, how is that going to not make you seriously feel like
you're above the law?
That's why you could decide, I want mango juice, I'm just going to go to Woolies and grab it. And I think that we don't talk enough about the level of psychosis that these people, between the two of them, already that
Having
has been
said
created.
all of that, Nandipa girl, if you're watching and you want to give me the rights to your film, I am there. I am there. KGOMOTSO. Okay, Mina now.
Before you sign the Netflix contract, right, for the movie, right? And also now reports that she's pregnant. What is
How?
Okay, guys. Okay, what's that?
I mean,
what is that? Excuse me. This woman is viral. She's in the. She's beautiful, virally, and she's at the. Do you understand? In terms of physically, at an age where she's incredibly attractive, right?
Amazing.
Who baby daddy at? Who baby daddy?
Some prison water, because obviously Onamo for something. Do you understand? Prison is a place of exchanges.
Survival.
It is a place of transactions. So she had to have sex with whomever she had to have sex with. That's why I gave her agency. I'm like, okay, girl.
So here is my question.
Wait.
This is a Nandipa that you just a second ago painted as petrified of this man called Thabo Shole-Mashao.
But it's not Thabo's kid.
Wait. Wait. Allow me to peddle my untested theories, right? This is a man who is so afraid of him.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, so in love. I mean, come on, people. There's no way
physical.
they can, right? So my question is, what's at play? Considering everything else, because if I had written a script and I said to Netflix, here is a script, right?
Yeah.
And it's completely fictional. And I tried to solve Nandipa and Best, they would have said, come on, that's not going to happen.
Please.
So hear me out. What if also there is this pregnancy? This is all just part of this situation. So I ask again, who the baby daddy?
Allegedly, if she is pregnant, one of the prison warders.
Yeah, that's if she is.
That's if she is. If she is. It has not been confirmed.
It hasn't been confirmed.
Yes.
But I think it makes the story juicier.
Oh my.
Listen, we are allowed to speculate, guys. I know we are allowed to speculate. So
because whether you've got a theory that it might be Thabo Bester who's the father.
No. That's not my theory necessarily. I'm just saying, I would not
I see.
I would not erase. I wouldn't count it out. I wouldn't put it past.
Knowing what has happened.
What has happened?
The impossible has happened. So this is one of the possibilities.
Like literally the impossible has happened.
Yeah.
As Justice Edwin Cameron said, was just like this story, because he's the judge that looks after prisons. And he's like are you like when he first I mean, I only have 2 eyes. I didn't have enough eyes as well for them to pop. I'm like,
Listen, and we should have him on at some point because incredible work in the prison system.
Great man.
Amazing insights that we were able to get from there. And he was also quite cautious, in how he spoke to the camera and like he's media savvy. But a lot to do with like what prison stuff has to do. But anyway, we need to wrap up. We've got about in just this last section. Okay.
So do we want to just take a little bit of a water break for a thing and then just come back?
If you want.
All right.
Okay.
Start again.
All right, we're back. We're just talking about Beauty and the Bester, but now we're moving on to da 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 da. I'm feeling the Christmas spirit. I can smell it, feel it. It is here. Guys, the lights are not out yet, but I'm just curious as in, what's your go-to for Christmas? First of all, do you have a particular thing that you do every Christmas? It's just part of your culture, it's part of your tradition, whatever it is. And secondly is like, have you created an alternative kind of like Christmas scenario, or have things changed over the past few years? Because we were noticing with Mapolo, but that over the past 5 years, not as many people leave Johannesburg as used to.
Yes. Well, at times we'd have family coming over or us going to them, and it would be that boring thing, and it would be routine mainly. Okay. Because you get there and you must say, let me just suck it up for the next 4 hours or so, and I'll pretend I must go back home. I don't like that. I really don't like that. Perhaps because I'm a recluse and whatever else. The best Christmas I had is when everyone else left me and I was alone in the house, and I had the house to myself, and I could do whatever. I could do whatever I want, and people were thinking that I'm bored. Are you okay? I'm like,
Sharp.
This is just... So I like the feeling of Christmas. I love the atmosphere of festivities because I love giving people gifts and doing all of that, but not for me.
Right.
Just like my birthdays. I love giving, but not for me. For me, I want some silence, some contemplation, me thinking about stuff and playing just beautiful jazz and Miles at the back. And I'm just having a good time.
Do you play Christmas carols?
No.
Really? I bring
you
out
love them.
Nat King Cole, Melo.
Yeah.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. No, I spent from like 17 to 20 something in the States.
Oh, yes.
And I had host families.
Yeah.
And in America, Christmas is crazy.
Really?
It's out of control.
I'll miss you on TV.
Like, oh my God, it is the tree, it is the trimmings, it is the food, it is family get-together, it's the presents. Presents are a big deal.
Yeah.
So I came back from studying in America and I thought like, I'm going to be that. I'm going to be Mother Christmas. And I did it
Mother
for a few
Christmas.
years. I was Mother Christmas for a few years when now I'm responsible for
Yes.
everything. And then I realized, like, no, man, people kind of take it for granted that you're going to be Mother Christmas. And actually, I don't feel like being Mother Christmas anymore. I wish somebody else would take the initiative to plan the menu, to go buy the food, to get the children presents so that they have something to look forward to. I love the feeling of togetherness. My mother and her siblings used to take us to her father's farm in Winterfeld, Kadi Christmas. So we used to run until we were blue in the face. It was like the most fantastic time. So if it's about people coming together and being together, I love that. Families are also stressful and toxic.
Yes.
So there have certainly been Christmases where I did that. And it was easy because I was living in Cape Town. So I'd be like, I'm in Cape Town.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry, I'm come.
Wanted to come.
What a punk. What a short little punk.
I wanted to.
I remember one Christmas taking my dog for a walk on the promenade.
Really?
Yes, really too fun. Any Christmas. And somebody had asked me to go spend Christmas with their family, and I just didn't feel like it. We went to the promenade. I bought us a hot dog, me and my dog. We chilled, watched the seagulls trying to fight us for the hot dog. Went home. I was happy.
So that's kind of your it's almost like your ritual because I don't know if you do you remember that we once my wife and
I remember
kids,
very well.
we once spent Christmas and we
with
went
me and my mom and a couple of friends.
And then I came with the kids 2018 actually I remember 2018 and we went and we also did take a walk to
because now the dog has to be walked again. We were just after lunch and then we had
so with me I'll say this. Christmas for me wasn't that big a deal when I was a child as it should be. And I know you and I, one thing that we all share. What is it about Catholics? Anyway,
relapsed Catholics.
The Catholic. But my mother was like so hectically Catholic that there was this thing at home that Christmas was just for church. You go to church, you come back, and you sit in the house, and then you sit and you watch the Vienna Philharmonic Orchestra the whole day. So different little food. So Christmas wasn't because my mother was like had this thing like I don't like excitement. Excitement. So we didn't go into other.
Did you get new clothes though?
Yeah, we would get like new clothes and when whatever, but then go straight from church and come home and whatever. Unless we were going to my grandmother's, which was awesome. We went to my maternal grandmother's. So when I then started, when I had my own family, I really wanted that Hollywood Christmas for my kids. I really got it. Oh my God. Like Christmas tree with the present. And I really got into it. So already now, I mean, we're recording this sort of mid-September right now. Already, I can't wait because because I'm like you. I'll start in the car. Already the other day, I was playing Donny Hathaway. This Christmas. I love it. For me, it's not Christmas until I hear or Lita Adams going, Holy is the Lamb. That beautiful music and so on. So I always look forward to Christmas. But nowadays, I'm back to where you are, where it's like, the kids are not grown. They're not so excited about Christmas. So it just now becomes a thing where, the politics, are you going to do? But I remember Nakili Koduga.
You must go back home. You must go back home.
So, but I am looking forward to it.
Listen, on that note, I hope y'all have a fabulous Christmas. Looking forward. Nana Makaya, anyway, no Kisimusi. We'll see you again next week.
Holy, holy, holy. Okay. Holy is the Lamb. Oh, you do. Oh.
I know the song. Holy is the Lamb.
Bye. Bye.